Hi guys, I'm Shmee. Hello, welcome back to the channel where today you join me for something very, very exciting. We're in Graz, Austria at the home of Magna-Steyr, and behind me is the assembly plant for the Mercedes-Benz G class, which means inside there, my future Shmee-mobile, my future AMG G63 is currently being built. We're gonna go in, have a look at the work in progress and see the car coming together before later on heading to the famous Schöckl in a G500 to experience what the G-Wagon is capable of. Needless to say, I can't wait. Let's get inside, let's see the assembly plant, and let's see my new car. Here we are then, welcome to the assembly plant of the G-Wagon. We're going to take a look around, heading towards my car, but to kick things off, this is the very start. So the painted body shells arrive from the paint shop. The body's in white being painted, of course, many of them here in gloss black, a white one on the end, but literally the outer frame, the skin of the car. Before they go on to the very beginning of the assembly line, this is the start. They head all the way through a couple of different lines with different things going on, but the first stage in the process is actually to remove the doors and the rear door as well, to make access a little bit easier for the installation of all of the different components, and we'll be able to see the way they come together. And of course, my car will have gone down this very path. Around the corner here, the cars have had their sunroofs installed. This blue looks particularly nice. You can also see the wiring loom that's been fitted all throughout, of course electronics being very important. And take a look down here, the line currently on pause for a lunch break, but just look at the endless run of G-Wagons in production. This is very exciting to see. On a separate line here, we have the development of the cockpit coming together, so you can see the frame, the steering column, even the air vents. If we come round, some of the leather has been installed, the trim, the main fascia of it. Keep coming through just to explore and see exactly what is going on here before, if we come this way, slightly further through completion, the installation of the further trim, the air vents, you've got some of the controls as well coming in. And if we come just here, we have the digital displays, the widescreen cockpit displays, the steering column on this one on the left side, on that one on the right, and of course the G-Wagon's traditional and iconic grab handle for the passenger. But these then actually come to meet the bodies on the line to then be installed and assembled. So you can see how these are prepared using the machine to literally put them into place, drop them inside the car, ready to go on from there towards the next. The next stage is something very exciting. So the last update I had on the G63 was going to the home of AMG in Affalterbach, where we visited the engine assembly to see the engines being built. Well, slightly further on the assembly of the frames, we have the moment the engines arrive. So here we're looking at a G63 distinguishable by having the AMG brake calipers and of course the 4-litre bi-turbo V8s. So the engine for my car will have come just straight through here, arriving, and you can see the further cars down the line as well. But the engine that has 585 horsepower, 850 newton meters, the one-man, one-engine plaque as well that will be put onto the top of the cover when all is fully installed and prepared. But literally, the units that we were seeing being built just outside of Stuttgart in Germany, now here over in Austria, in Graz, to be installed into the cars. Mated as well to the gearbox, you can see just coming through as well. The exhaust system just around the side exit exhaust, and again, the AMG logo there on the caliper to mark it out and make it very clear. But this is the coming together of the engine with the frame. Wow, have a look at this. The logistics bringing the various different engines here, all the different types ready to go into the line to be assembled, but the engines from AMG and Affalterbach all being brought in following their various testing stages, now lined up. And I think it would be quite a challenge to total up the horsepower that we have right in front of us here, but you can also see our first look at some completed cars as well, or nearly completed cars down at the other end. But that is really quite something to just take in the amount of power right in front of us right now. We arrive at the moment of engine marriage, so the frame with the engine, with the gearbox being met by the body being lowered down. There are 6 of these different frames that transport the bodies around. There are also the lower transport frames at the bottom. This is where it's all lined up. It comes together absolutely perfectly. It's always called the marriage in automotive manufacture and assembly, but it's the moment the 2 parts of the car that have been assembled actually come together, of course, on the line before more components are installed, and then later on testing and various processes as well. But here we go, you can see it coming down on the suspension, the body being met, and then the arms can be moved and taken over to pick up the next body, and there we have it. The engine and the body have been married. This is the moment the car comes down to the ground for the very first time. You can see the bright headlights of the one behind being tested, but from here, when it reaches the ground, actually we'll just stay tuned to that for a moment. It will be started up, and then they get driven for their first couple of meters, rolling on the ground. Actually, just heard the noise in the background of this car, because from this stage, they get driven along. So this one is about to be started up, and when it's started up, unlocked, you can see the blinkers. It then gets, well, this is literally, I think, the first time that it's brought into life when it's in the car. This spec is particularly cool as well. Into life it comes, and then it'll be driven across from one side to the other, where further things get done. You can see there's also an opening underneath to work on the underside. They're straight in, ready to work on that. We're a little bit further on now, but I've just spotted something. The future Schmee-mobile G63 is the next on the line, and guys, here it is, just up top and distinct in the obsidian black paintwork with the silver AMG calipers. Many of the cars have red, but as soon as I saw it, I knew that this was the car. On the inside, we've got the upgraded leather interior. You can see the stitching of the back of the seat rests, the dashboard and trim all installed, the carbon fiber on the grab handle. We're going to be seeing much more of this in a second, but here it is. This is the car at the moment as it currently looks. Of course, the color will be brightening up in the future, but how cool is this to be here knowing the engine is now installed inside here. We can't see it at the moment, but this is it. This is my new car on the line. So there are a few fun things planned, which I now need to dash for to get a little bit of training and learning what's going to be needed on this in a second. This is literally the moment that the rear wheel for mine is going on. The front wheel's just been placed on, but I've gone for the silver calipers against the satin black wheels. In a second, I'm going to be jumping inside the car, sitting in it for the first time, and installing the steering wheel and airbag. So fingers crossed I get it right, because those are quite important and significant parts. Basically, the cars have about a 10-minute time gap between each stage as they're coming through. This is literally it. This is super cool. It's time now to crack on, which means my first ever time taking a step into the new car, and delicately is going to be the name of the game here. Just pull this forward, and all right then, let's do this. Right-hand drive, of course. Okay, feels good. It's steering wheel time. Have a look at this. How cool is this? The AMG Performance steering wheel, the perforated leather, all of the controls. So this literally goes into place like that. That's step one. That's in. And then step two, we have the airbag. Of course, needs to be the right way up. This goes in just like this. I'm going to be really gentle and leave it there for the moment and let the pros do it properly. But here we are. This is it. This is cool. In here, we've got the V8 by Turbo badge that goes on the side. So this is a lot of responsibility to get this right. Peel off the backing tape. Just get rid of that for a second. Okay, so obviously this frame holds it in place. Let's get this on right. It goes in there. And then when it's in place, push it. Give it a good press. Done, it's badged, and I think I can pull this off. Done, carefully removed. Magic. V8 by Turbo, now badged. The car is now all connected. You can see the cables plugged in up front. There's also a diagnostics computer running just in here to make sure the latest software is installed for all of the systems. And if you're wondering about this red piece here, that is of course for protection to make sure none of the bodywork gets scratched while various different things are going on. But obviously in here, we can see it now, my power plant as built in Affalterbach, but here installed in the car that has become a physical thing. From being announced online a couple of months ago that this was coming, a car that I've dreamt about for quite a long time actually. The year-long waitlist has been quite a long one for this, but now coming together here on the assembly line. Quick look around, the lights are of course on, the wheels. I know I'm going over this a little bit repetitively, but you can imagine my excitement. The dashboard is also illuminated. I can see that in life as well. And then obviously the interior, as I spec'd it, as I chose it, the AMG door sill panels as well. In fact, I want to come around just to see the dashboard very briefly. The Panamericana front grille, just watching out, being very careful as I do this. But in here, you can see that just going through various different testing cycles, but illuminated. One of my favorite features are the interior kind of infotainment systems, the double displays, and all the options that you have connected to those. And if you come around towards the back, I think it's just, yep, just had the spare wheel cover installed as well, being put in place over that tyre at the very back. It will get fueled as well just here. Pumps at the side of the line. Wowzers. This is really cool, knowing that the next time I see it, there will be doors on as well. Those get fitted right at the end because, of course, to lift in the seats and everything like that is much, much easier if you don't have doors in place. Got the glass sunroof up top as well. Yes, coming together very nicely. Farewell for now, car. I will see you very soon. We're ready now for part 2 of today's adventure. This is the G-Class experience, and I can tell you in advance, it is going to be pretty impressive. So we're at the entrance to Magna's track up towards the top of the Schöckl. We've got 2 G500s here, much in common between those and the G63s. Of course, not from AMG, not the same engine, but based on the ladder frame with the same immense capabilities. And I can tell you in advance, this is going to be gnarly, bumpy, rocky, and pretty crazy that we can get up. Even just coming up this first section has been pretty wild, and we're continuing. So let's jump on board where the guys are waiting for me. It is time to head on up. How's it going?
Yes, we can start.
So, we are currently in the G modes, the off-road modes, with the diff locks on. So we're going with all 3 diff locks on. That's the big thing about the G-Wagon, having the option to lock the centre.
For more safety.
Yeah, to lock the centre, lock the rear, lock the front. And up we go with the view, 28% gradient here already. We're at 900 meters heading up towards the top at, I think it's 1,400 meters. But yeah, this is a walk in the park, right? This is just an easy, gentle stroll. And the G63 can do exactly what we're doing right now in the G500. I don't think the camera emphasizes quite how dramatic this actually is, but every G product comes up here and is tested. This is
slippery rocks. This is lightweight.
Yeah, it is slightly wet as well, so that's not helping. But you can get a small sense of how much I'm bumping around right now as we make our way up some pretty jagged terrain here. Look at this terrain. This is absolutely mad. I mean, this is hard to hike up. It's steep, it's aggressive, and I think this is probably baby steps at the moment as we go up towards the top of the mountain. The weather doing all sorts of weird and wonderful things. But the G-Wagon taking it in its stride. We've got a friend there.
The deer.
The deer running in the trees. And this is the same area that's been used for testing of cars for over 100 years.
Absolutely.
And all G-Wagon models, all new models,
all.
come here, do 2,000 kilometers.
1979, the same.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow, that's everything. So even the new G63s, they've all been tested.
It's easy.
I love that. Are we going up here? Why not? It's a G-Class. Oh gosh. And so you just look at the terrain, find the hardest route, and up you go. Whichever is the most difficult bit, that's the way the G-Class goes in its home.
Yeah.
Woohoo!
Yeah, this is not too slippery. I don't know.
Well, it looks a bit mad. Okay. So right now, front axle's locked, rear axle's locked, centre diff is locked, and we are floating. Yeah.
Front and rear.
Yeah, we're tipping and tilting slightly.
You need 3 differential locks.
Okay.
Absolutely. You can look at the rear car.
Oh wow. That's crazy.
When you see the things, it is not so spectacular.
Yeah.
When you see
it from outside, it's crazy.
Absolutely.
Look at this. This would be almost difficult to walk up. Steep angles. We're at a 42% angle, and we're just stopped. Can we just?
Normally, the best way is when you change the foot, the left foot, 1,100 RPM, smooth.
Smooth on the power.
Yes, smooth. No wheel spins.
Nothing. That's amazing. It's even the pace you can carry. We're emerged then up towards the top. We've made it up to the top then. What an experience that was, seeing what this could do. And now look at the view down towards where we started. Lots of people cycle up here as well, of course, but not on a day with the weather quite like today. But we've made it to the top, had a sense for what the G-Wagon is about. It's breathtaking, honestly, really incredible what this can do. It is now my turn to drive, so let's take a step in here. We are going driving in the G500, get it started up. Into life we go. We are going to follow. We're in low range at the moment, and we are above the clouds as well.
You can change from low range to high range, no problem. Neutral,
yeah.
Switch the button.
So you literally
listen
go...
the gong. Neutral.
So up into neutral.
Up in, yes. Switch.
Then you press the button.
Yes. Listen. Yes, drive.
And then back into drive.
It's low range. And high range, sorry.
And then off you go. Easy.
Yes.
Right, here we go. I'm driving on the legendary Schöckl. This is really cool. To be up here.
Center differential lock.
Okay, center differential lock.
Yes.
Give it a press.
Must. ABS, ESP must off.
Okay.
So don't can brake. It's just regulated. Don't can brake.
Okay. And now we're driving through the clouds.
No brake. Perfect.
A bit of turn.
Second gear.
Yeah.
Yes, perfect.
So it automatically controls the speed by your gear.
Yes. And left. Perfect. This is the best way.
Impressive like angle that you can take down towards the ground.
You look, oh no, it's no problem.
And the bumper doesn't touch the ground.
No, no, no.
Look at that, look at the angle.
Yeah, absolutely.
The way the portal axles allow it to just clear everything.
Stop the car here.
Yeah, stop on the hill.
Yes.
Because why not? And now we start driving. Yeah. Who needs wheel spin, hey? And this is where we want to turn the camera on. Yeah.
So.
Perfect.
So.
And now I get a view where we're going. I get to miss the rock. Perfect. We've stopped here for a moment, but have a look at this. Some military vehicles making their way up, the exact same course, of course. Looking beastly. Triple axles, 6-wheelers. All testing and enjoying the Schöckl. That's cool. That is all really very, very cool. And another G500 joining the fun. Proper off-roading today, look how dirty this is. Now we're getting a bit of a sense of what this can do. Wow. Some testing miles.
Yes.
This is where I definitely make use of the grab handle, holding on tight as we blast on down. Wow. You would think that this would just destroy the car within about 5 seconds, driving like this. Whoa. What ridiculously aggressive, rugged terrain. It's amazing that it can do this. Absolutely amazing. I feel like I'm on the wildest of wild roller coasters. Down the drop, over the rocks. And we're off. Splashing through the puddles. This is by far and away the most extreme off-roading that I have ever experienced. Ah, tarmac. Absolutely lovely, we're on tarmac. How fun is it to drive?
Perfect.
Yeah. That was cool. Now I had thought about bringing my car down here, but I'm not going to be doing this. in the deepest, darkest woodland, down some pretty extreme stuff. Oh, just watching the car in front bouncing around, knowing that's what we're doing. The G-force chart is all over the place on the dashboard. Wow. Whew. What a crazy ride. We've made it back to the G-Class Experience Centre. Those are looking a tad dirtier than they were earlier on, and I, for one, am feeling a little bit shaken up as well. That was quite a ride down the Schöckl to experience the G-Class taking it pretty effortlessly, to be honest. And behind me here, a new G63. Next to that, the G350D with the G500 as well. That is the complete lineup of the G-Wagons. But today has been all about seeing my new G63 in assembly here in Graz at Magna-Steyr, and I cannot wait for this car to arrive. I'm sure many of you are wondering about the black paintwork. As I've said before, it is going to be going to topaz. It will be getting a topaz skin in the bright cerulean blue with the accents in a navy blue. The wheel arches, also the spare wheel cover will be done as well, so we'll have that dual tone blue configuration as I showed you in the renders that I had made, like we have on the Senna. Just imagine what it's going to be like with the Senna on a trailer behind the matching coloured G63. It's going to be a lot of fun. That's not the only thing in store though. Hopefully I'll get to take mine off-road to see the G63 doing exactly what we've been doing today with the G500. But what an amazing opportunity to come here to where the cars are produced, to be able to see mine at this early stage, a couple of weeks ahead of delivery, and to be part of actually building it as well. Really and truly special. So a huge thanks to the team that have been involved in making this possible. Wow, what a day. I hope you've enjoyed coming along for the ride, seeing the assembly plant, seeing where they do the testing of these cars. I can't wait. And like I said, the transport now for the car to be, well, for it to be completed and then transported over to the UK, it might be a week, it might be 2 weeks, it might be 3. Let's just hold on and see when it's coming, but you'll be the first to know. You'll see all of my updates as soon as I know more. So thank you very much for watching, guys. I appreciate your support an awful lot. The G63 adventures are right around the corner. Bring it on, and I'll see you soon. Cheers.